My name is Sarah, and I am with VHT Studios, a real estate media company, and I'm here with YPN for our weekly interview.
My name's Megan, and I'm the staff liaison to YPN and the Communications and Member Services Director at NMAR.
I'm Mark Beck with Remax Glacier Country in Kalispell. I'm a realtor and have been with NMAR since 2019 as an agent.
All right, and I'm Tim Peacher with Keller Williams Realty, Northwest Montana. It's my first year on the YPN and been an agent since 2019 also.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gemma Weil, and I'm a real estate advisor with Engel Volkers, and I am the new chair for YPN and also new to the real estate industry. And I'm excited to be here today to hear about Flathead Premier Title.
I'm Matt Hall. I'm the president and owner of Flathead Premier Title.
How did you get started in the title business?
I got started back in Colorado in 1996. I used to sell lumber to the builders and developers back in Colorado Springs. And a mutual friend worked at a title company. Thought I would be good at sales doing that. And so in probably about July of 1996, I started my title career in sales.
How did you make it to Montana and start your company up here? What was the reasoning for coming up to Montana?
Well, my wife's originally from Libby. So she brought me up here probably about 22 years ago. I fell in love with the area and with Montana. And, you know, ever since then, I've been trying to figure out a way to come back or to get up to Montana and bring her back. She spent the last 25 years in Colorado with me, and we had an opportunity. I had partners with the title company that I started down in Colorado Springs called Legacy Title Group. They bought the assets of a title company here in Kalispell. I found out about it and, you know, offered my services to come up here and be a partner with them in this venture and start all over again. So it was just a way for my wife to get back to her family and to her roots, and for me to do something I've always dreamed of, and that's living up here in northwestern Montana.
I have a question for you. How do you see things changing after COVID? Like as far as your policies goes, does that ever change?
You know, I don't think for us, for Flathead Premier Title, I don't think we're going to change a whole lot. Through the whole pandemic, we really changed very little. You know, the biggest change was we did some curbside closings. We did some RON closings, the remote online notarizations. We did those. You know, we upped our cleaning and sterilization of the office, but we kind of left it up to the borrowers and the sellers and the buyers and what they were comfortable with doing. And we found that the majority of them still wanted to do a table closing. They still wanted to come in. They still wanted to meet face to face. You know, once they figured out, you know, that we were doing the things that we needed to do with, you know, sterilizing the office after every closing, you know, not reusing pens, just making sure that everything was clean and safe. So I think really from my aspect, after, you know, we get through this and the pandemic's over, I think we will see, you know, a little bit more of the RON closings, but I think people are going to go back to the way what we remember as the normal of doing an actual closing. We actually this week opened up our offices for the realtors and the lenders to come back to closing. It's, you know, it's a really big deal for the buyers and the sellers. You know, that's their largest investment. And it's a time to celebrate for the realtors, especially for the buyers and sellers, first-time home buyers. So bringing everybody back to the table, I think we're going to get back to that, and I think you're going to see that fairly quickly too.
I think it's better too that way because you can, you know, you have that connection with people. So that's great. Thank you.
What differentiates your company from other title companies in the area?
Well, one of them is, myself being a local owner. Most of the title companies are owned by, a corporation that's out of state, or, a much larger national corporation. I am a local owner. I have partners out of Colorado, but I actually have, I've got my own money invested in this. So I think it gives us a little bit of an edge that way, that, I can make decisions that the others can't. I can do some things that some of the others might not be able to do. And then also we have Ringo. And he is our office mascot, our office dog. He comes with me to work every day. And that's just, he's done that since I got him about almost 6 years ago. So so those are the two big things. Ringo's what everybody loves. So
What issues do you guys see come up often at closings?
a lot of times, and we had one that actually just happened today. It was a propane proration, and we have a form that we send out to the agents that to ask, if there's anything special like that with the HOAs, and any propane prorations that we need to do for if there's tank rental or how much propane is left in the tank. And it came up today. One of the agents that was supposed to get it back to us didn't, and there were questions at the closing table. How am I getting paid for the seller asked, how much am I getting for the propane? And so that was something that we, as a title agent, or as the closing settlement servicer, we have to, kind of react fast to and get that taken care of, and do it in a way that also makes the agents look good. Because that's something that we try and do here is we understand that we're the last line of defense for the realtor. For them to get those referrals, the last people that most of their clients see are the closer at the closing table. So we need to do whatever we can to make those agents look good so that they get those referrals back to them. So, taking little issues like that and not making them a big issue, and, just digging in and getting that handled is kind of what it's kind of our job. It's kind of what we shine at. Other things that we see are misspelled names, vesting is different, power of attorneys that nobody tells us about until right before closing, people that are dead. You would think that would be maybe at the front of somebody's mind. There's times that we haven't found out that somebody has actually passed until we sit down at the closing table. I had an experience myself that I sat down, I looked at the documents, and there's a Mr. and Mrs. Seller on the documents, and I looked at the agent and Mrs. Seller, and I said, is Mr. Seller coming? And they just kind of looked at me with a blank look and said, I'm sorry, Mr. Seller's dead. So little things like that can pop up that can really put a hitch in the closing. So those are some things like that. And then access is a big issue for us too. There's always seems to be some issues with access in a lot of the rural properties up here. With family transfers and people splitting off their larger acreage down to smaller and giving it to their son or daughter or family member, and they never actually do an easement for access. Those seem to be some of the bigger deals that we see here.
Hey, Matt, I got another one for you. How long on average does it take to run a title search for you guys?
That's a great question. A title search, it depends on what kind of search and what kind of product we're doing. A lot of times for a refinance, we have a product called the Smart Policy or a West Star rate. And those are much quicker searches. That's something that we can do in just a few hours. If it's something that we have to search all the way back to patent, and what I mean by patent is back to dirt, when the United States government actually owned the territorial land, our records go all the way back to that. If we have to search back to that, that can take an examiner 8 to 10 hours just to do that one search, to go back through that whole parcel. And so there's really not a good answer on how long it is. An average search probably takes us 2.5 to 3 hours. So depending on how far back we have to go.
Do you have any upcoming accredited classes that would satisfy the 12 credits that we need annually? Do you offer anything like that, or have anything coming up?
We don't have anything planned right now. I'm working on getting one of our title classes accredited. We've got a couple that I'm working on to get those accredited. They'll be 1-hour classes, so they'll be nice and short and sweet. That's something we hope to have by the end of June, and then we'll put those in the pipeline. But yeah, right now I don't have any dates that we've set up for those classes just yet.
Do you feel like being a part of YPN has benefited your business?
Definitely. It's given me the opportunity to get out in front of a lot more realtors and lenders. It shows people that, I want to be part of the community. I want to help the real estate community. And YPN is an important part of that, teaching the newer agents about NMAR and the different facets of it. So definitely, I think it helps me in my knowledge too, being able to talk to the realtors and do things like this and be involved with that.
Well, we're really happy that you are involved. You've been a big asset to the committee. Have anything else that you'd like to share with the members about Flathead Premier Title?
We are a newer company. We are locally owned. I touched briefly on, some of the things that we've done that makes us different. We're actually the only title company in the Flathead Valley that has RON approved closers. What that means is other title companies can do a remote online notarization closing, but their closers aren't actually notarizing the documents. They have to hire a third-party vendor to control the documents and control the notarization. I looked it up a little bit ago, and there's 5 people in the Flathead County that are approved to do RON closings. 3 of them either are attorneys or work for attorneys, and 2 of them are myself and one of our closers, Ashley Pickering. So we actually, can handle the full closing. We handle the documents. We do the whole thing. We don't have to rely on somebody else's schedule and coordinating with them. So that's kind of one of the unique things about, being local and having that local ownership. That was something that I made the decision that we needed to do. I felt it was important, and it was kind of neat. We actually did one last week where the property was here in the Flathead Valley. The sellers were in Puerto Rico. So we were able to sign their documents while they were down in Puerto Rico. And we got the transaction closed without too many hiccups that way. But we just love the opportunity to talk to people and tell them our story and see if we can't become partners and get your deals closed.
If someone does want to or has a question about your services, are you the best person to get in touch with?
Yeah, they can contact me. Again, it's Matt with Flathead Premier Title. My cell phone number is 406-260-6737.
Thank you so much for letting us interview you today.
No problem.
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
Edit out whatever you need to, Megan.
Okay.
Take out whatever you
Thank
need.
you, guys.